What's up, Commanders fans? I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry that I gotta be the one to deliver this news to you. But they trying to get rid of our boy. I keep hearing it. And anytime you keep hearing news, more than likely, it's gonna happen. And I heard it months ago. And I'm still hearing it. And it seemed like we might be getting rid of Brian Robinson. And the reason I say that is because I keep seeing articles. And the fact that this is his last year, and after this last year, he's going to be a free agent. And out of the production that we've been getting from him, he is a third-round pick. Let me put it there. He's a guy that's been giving us 700 yards every season. Last season, he did great. He had 8 touchdowns this season. And let's not forget, before he even touched foot on the Commanders field and played it down for us, he was sadly shot. And I believe it was 2 times in his leg. And he decided to come out and play. Then he didn't even wait that long. He didn't miss a few games. He literally came right out and started the season and played after being shot. And I applaud him for it. It really showed his mentality. It showed the type of player that we got. And, he went off for us in these last 3 years. And, of course, he wasn't our pick last season. He wasn't the pick before that season. Like, Eric Bieniemy didn't pick him. This was a Ron Rivera pick, right? And it was, I'm going to be honest, for a third-round pick, it was good. It was a good pick. This was a good pick by Ron. I'm surprised, but this was a really good pick by him. And, we knew, like, the caliber of a running back he was. This regime knew for a fact that they was not going to start their first season with him and not have somebody that can do a lot more than what he can do, what he can bring to the table. When you think of Ron, you think of a strong running back, and he's very physical, right? He can move the chains. But when it comes to him playing like a Saquon Barkley or Jahmyr Gibbs, you don't get that same. He's not as, shifty. And his ball vision is not the same. It's not the same as those guys. And he's not as agile. So that's why we brought in a guy like Austin Eckler. And it's one of those things that you just understand that you're not getting out of him. No matter how many years he decides to play for us, he's not going to ever be that type of running back that we all want. So we all been trying to get that player to come here. And the only way that's going to happen is if we have the draft picks. Because right now we know we need a lot of things. We need edge rusher. We need linebacker. We need wide receiver. We need a lot of things. Cornerback. So, Adam Peters has been doing that. He's been getting us guys that can just play the role. They ain't got to be big names, but they can just, do what we need them to do. And that's what they've been doing. So, to get back to Brian Robinson and the fact that he was a third-round pick, and we do not have a third-round pick because of the Laramie Tunsil trade, it seems like we could possibly be using him to get some more capital. And I feel like, to me, Brian Robinson is decent. If we go into this next season with him, I think we can still use him, but I wouldn't say he's my every down back. I wouldn't say I want him to be our every down back when it comes to, what we want, because I felt like last season he wasn't doing it for us, And of course he had some injuries. He missed 3 games, but he just wasn't really turning the needle when it came time for when Jaden needed help. When Jaden needed the line to be moved, he wasn't making those efforts, And I'm not knocking his physicality, I'm not knocking that. But it's not enough. And we need a guy that can do more than what he does. And his average last season was 4.3 yards per carry, and that's cool, but it's time for him to go. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's time for something fresh, something new. Of course, I want him to be here to win a championship with us. I say a championship, a Super Bowl with us. But the way Adam Peters moves, it's probably not going to happen. He's probably not going to be here. And that's the sad truth about it. Like Dante Fowler wasn't able to experience this Super Bowl with us. We didn't decide to re-sign him. We moved on. He moved on, honestly. I would say that. But I'm sure they offered him a deal and he just didn't feel like it was worthy enough for him. He felt like he'd probably get more elsewhere, and he probably didn't, But he ended up getting a deal worth $8 million for the Cowboys, and I think I heard rumors that we offered him more. And I guess you know what happens is you wait too late, and we have to allocate money elsewhere. And then by the time you decide to come back and agree to a deal, that money is gone. Because we got to make sure that we have enough money for the guys that we bring in, the guys that we want to bring back. And that's just what happens in the NFL. But this is one of those hard decisions that I think Adam Peters is going to have to make, because he's been here so long, and we've all come accustomed to him, and we don't feel like, bruh, it's not just me, but these are some of the hard decisions that Ron Rivera would never do. Get rid of guys like Jonathan Allen. Get rid of Jahan Dotson. One never should have been drafted that early. Brian Robinson, perfect draft pick. Perfect. That was one of his good ones. But he didn't hit on his first round draft picks at all. And, you see we got rid of Jamin Davis, and he didn't hit on the Benjamin St. Juice pick either. So there's a lot of guys that he didn't hit on. But Brian Robinson was really a good pick. But I think what kept him from really being great is him getting shot before the season even started, before he was able to even become a rookie and start. Because I felt like his last season in college was perfect for him. He went 4 seasons in college. He played 5, but he went his first 4 seasons in college and didn't even start. And when he finally got that opportunity to start, you see he went off and led the league in touchdowns and led, them in attempts. And it just showed that he was on the incline. You know what I'm saying? He was on his way up. And it's sad that I'm saying this, man, because it's like, damn, I like his attitude about the game. I love the way he plays the game. But for him to be our number 1 running back, our starting running back, I don't feel that in him no more. And that's the crazy part. So I can see this as a reality. I can see us shipping him off for a 3rd round pick or something, that compares to it. Maybe like 2 4th round picks or something like that. But it all depends on what guys are trying to give up. And we know right now there's teams out there like the Bears, like the Browns, like the Cowboys, like the Broncos, like the Raiders, like the Rams, like the Vikings, the Saints, and the Steelers that all need running backs. And of course they don't all need, a starting running back, but they could use a guy like Brian Robinson. And he's definitely tough. He's a big running back, 6'1", 6'2". He can definitely get the job done. But I just don't feel like he's going to be running back number 1 for us anymore. And I'm glad that we still got Austin Eckler for this year. And we brought back Jeremy McNichols and Christopher Rodriguez. You can kind of get the same production with Christopher. So why are we keeping Brian when we can get somebody that's a little bit quicker, shiftier, has better ball vision, that can find holes much better than he can? And I'm not saying that he's washed. I'm just saying it's time to move on from him. And I'm seeing it myself, and I've been seeing it. But these are the hard decisions that Adam Peters has to make. Will he keep him? If he keeps him, I wouldn't be mad. If he gets rid of him, I wouldn't be mad. I'm sure we can find something better. And if we can find something better, then that means it's time to move on. And I think that's where his career is headed to. And don't get me wrong, if he watches this video, just know I'm on your team. But sometimes it's time to move on. And it's not always when you want it to be. And I just like want him to stay, man. But I wouldn't be mad if Adam Peters get rid of him. But Adam then got rid of a lot of guys I wanted to keep. So at this point, it is what it is. But let me know how y'all feel about that, man. I done heard it a few times. People have been saying moving back to like being RB2. People have been saying trade him. People have been saying release him. You know, I've been hearing a lot of it. But let me know how y'all feel about it. Do you think it's time? It's perfect timing for me, I think, because we need a third-round pick, seeing that we don't have one. And the fact that he is valuable. He can get you 700 yards. He can get you some touchdowns, you know, if he had to catch the ball a lot. Like you seen the year before that when he had Sam Howell there. He had 4 touchdowns, you know, receiving. And he did his thing in the running position. So it's not like he can't do both. But I just think it's time to move on. We need something else. I'm out.